Good afternoon and welcome in. It's 4:06. It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio. Also live on YouTube and Facebook, having the crucial conversations that Erie needs. And we're talking the region here and the regional workforce. And I'm very excited to have with us here Nicole Ferringer. She is the Business Services Manager. And Nicole, I want to get this right. PA CareerLink of Erie County in the oil region here. And welcome. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Joel. I'm happy to be here.
All righty. Let's start with an origin story. Where did you come up? Where'd you go to high school? And what got you into this field here?
So I was born and raised Erie County, went to First Assembly of God for grade school, and then transitioned over to Mercyhurst Prep for high school. Then I went out of state for college, so over in Washington State. So
oh, wow.
Spent some time out there. Now
in
I'm
the
back.
Pacific Northwest.
Exactly. Now I'm back here in Erie County.
So like when we have a rainy day, you're like, hey, this is nothing.
Nothing at all.
Oh, that's amazing. What kind of degree? What got you involved with this kind of work here? You know.
Sure. So I went to school for business management. So it fits well with my position here with PA CareerLink now.
What exactly? What do you do there at the CareerLink? What is your main roles, I guess?
So I'm the business services manager. We oversee services to businesses offered through PA CareerLink funding. So we have funding available to employers and the community where we can offset some training costs and invest back into the community with some of our funding available.
I think this is maybe one of the best kept secrets that's out there, is that you actually have funding so people can get retrained or trained for positions that are out there.
Yeah, that's correct. We have funding through what is called WIOA. It stands for Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. It's federal money allocated through labor and industry to the states. And we're able to utilize that in our region to help support people who need to upskill in the community and help employers when they're upskilling new staff or incumbent staff.
All right. So as you look at kind of where Erie, let's stick for Erie County for now, because that's the one I know. Do you get a sense that there are a lot of jobs available if we had the people that would be willing to get skilled up for those jobs? Is that an accurate statement in your opinion as you look at it? I
would say that's very accurate.
So, like, what are you experiencing? Is it basically, when I look at, which is not you, it's not really your site, the job search, but there's like thousands of jobs just in Erie County, like well over 1,000 jobs available.
I think there's accumulation of things happening. So, something that's being referred to as the silver tsunami is people exiting the workforce, people who are retiring and not enough population to come in and backfill those positions. But within that, there's not enough skilled labor for some of our lead manufacturers, our healthcare, and other types of employers in the area who need skilled labor to perform in those jobs.
Yeah, that seems to be kind of some of the key things. In past conversations, we've talked about, I don't know if I'm saying it right, either high impact or high need jobs. Like there's an actual list, right? Can you talk a little bit about that and some of the highlights of that list?
Sure. So it's the high priority occupation list, and
okay.
There is a list for the Northwest Pennsylvania region, specifically to Northwest. There's about 50 different specific jobs on that list. For example, the medical industry is heavily impacted in the high priority occupation list.
Some of these are like direct care, right? I want to say at one point I saw a number of like close to 1,000 positions needed in just direct patient care. Does that ring a bell at all? Or?
Yeah. So there's, positions across healthcare, whether that's medical assisting or medical office work, or above that would be more technical. And then manufacturing is a heavy hitter within the high priority occupation list. So, a lot of skilled labor jobs that include tool and die makers, CNC, electrical work. Wow. It's quite a long list, to be honest with you.
Yeah, 50 different line items, right?
Right.
When you're talking about it, the what you said, tool and die and CNC.
Yeah.
Again, don't you kind of need skills though for the? I mean, you would have to have some minimal skills or certificate. What do you think?
Yeah, so PA CareerLink is here to assist with upskilling our community, and that's one of our main priorities, is to be an advocate for people who need, some guidance on what they want to do, whether that's, developing a career plan, or whether that's kind of they have an identified career plan, but how do I achieve that? So we have resources available to guide people the right direction, but not only do we have those resources to guide them, we might be able to fund based on their eligibility for certain programs.
Do you think that when we just staying with the high priority occupational list, do you think that high schoolers, we'll start with the young folks, is that are high schoolers or guidance counselors aware of these kinds of things, you think, that are out there? What would be your take on that? Like, I mean, is that something that you would have known at, you went to Mercier's Prep, right?
Yeah, so I went to a school where they heavily pushed college. So at Mercier's, that probably, was less of a topic of discussion.
And you don't have to worry about it.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, because I went to Mercier's Prep way back in the day. Okay. And again, back then we were a preparatory school, so college was number one, right?
And I think, like, as you're entering Mercier's, that's kind of what you have in mind.
Sure.
It's kind of to gauge you and get you ready for your college career. But we work closely with ECTS, Erie County Technical School. Matt Laverty is very helpful over there, and he has the right idea, and he's definitely developing, the programs needed and investing in the right ways up there to get kiddos ready who aren't going to be entering a college career path, instead entering the workforce.
I find it interesting. Okay, so you could literally be a student either at Erie High or at the VOTEC, through one of the McDowell or whoever, right? GM. And then CareerLink could come in and say, okay, you're graduating. If you want to get the finite skills for, let's say, CNC, we're here to help. That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, so that being said, we have, different resources to offset training costs for employers, but we also have different resources to offset training costs for people within the community. So we have something that's called an eligible training provider list. And within that list, there are different training providers where a person who is eligible for one of our programs could attend and receive support up to $5,500 of funding for
Wow.
that training.
That's significant investment, And again, we're just talking about one level here. Some of these programs are available for layoffs or people that are looking for a reset as older adults. We're going to get into that a second here, but that's not all that you do. You talk about just getting support in a job search and like developing resumes and things. Talk a little bit about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so PA CareerLink, like I said, can help with your career path in general. So we offer interview support, building your resume. We have different resources for that where you can come in and sit with a staff member and go through your resume line by line, and we can optimize your resume for you. Those services are open to the community as a whole. You don't have to be eligible for one of the programs to take one of our courses or to work with one of our representatives that are subject matter experts on and able to help you with your resume or upskilling for interviews.
Do you almost, I'm going to say it indelicately, but I'm going to say it anyway. Do you almost have to game the AI gatekeepers when you're putting up a resume? I'll hear these stories, right? I put up 150 resumes, right? And you have to get past that Indeed thing in order to break through maybe to a human that's the recruiter. Is that something that your people that as they do the training have to deal with, at all?
Yeah, so we do have a training that's specifically for AI. So it's just, like dealing with utilizing AI in your job is what the training is called. And so that's something that, we can help prepare people for. Applicant tracking systems are heavily using AI. So just knowing how those work and
aren't they looking for like keywords and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. So you have to have those keywords in the cover letter or the resume, right?
So basically, when you're looking at a job description, you want to have your resume match keywords within the job description. So once you're able to, evaluate the job description and then make sure that you're matching that resume and tailor each application to the job that you're applying to, that will bring the most success. And then just knowing what the ATS is looking for and how it's filtering.
What does ATS stand for?
Oh, applicant tracking system. I'm sorry.
So this is that AI kind of background that the company will use to do all this. It sounds like, right? I mean,
so most companies do have like an HRIS system or an applicant tracking system that they use to host their hiring needs or their job postings at least, and then that all filters back into that.
Okay, I bet you there's some big names that your trainers are able to understand and figure it out. So, like you say, the better outcomes for each of those applications, if that's a job that you're searching for. We got to take our break. We're a little over here. It is Talk Erie. We're talking to Nicole Ferringer, the Business Services Manager for Pennsylvania CareerLink for Erie County and the Oil Region. Back in a bit. talking about the jobs in the workforce here on Talk Erie and the Joel and Natalie Show. Nicole Ferringer is with us, Business Services Manager with PA CareerLink, Erie County and the Oil Region. Let's keep moving here. Let's talk about workflow first, Nicole. Like, okay, let's say I'm an individual and maybe I'm doing Uber, I'm driving for Uber or something like that, and I really want to get skilled up. What's the first thing I should do, you think?
Register on our website.
Okay, and where would I go for that?
So you would go to pacareerlink.pa.gov.
Okay, and what does that do, or how do I navigate that website?
So once you're on the landing page, on the upper right hand corner there's a red box that says register. You would click that and then select individual, and it's pretty straightforward from there. And if you were interested in receiving help with that, you could walk into the PA CareerLink. In Erie County, we're at 450 East 16th Street. And in Franklin County, we're at 1345 15th Street in Franklin.
Okay.
So you can walk into the facility and get help creating and registering an account. And beyond that, we can look to see if you would be eligible for any of our programs. So we have four programs. The first one is our in-school youth program. Then we have our out-of-school youth program, which is ages 16 to 24. So
that's a critical age, isn't it?
Young adult, yeah. It is a critical age. And then we have our adult program and dislocated worker program.
Okay, I want to get to each of these. So let's talk about that 16 to 24-year-old. Again, it's this young one. He's out of high school. She's out of high school. Maybe driving. Maybe doing gig stuff. And is it classes? Is it online stuff? Like, what are some of the what makes you eligible, Nicole?
Sure. So there's different eligibility criteria for each program.
Okay.
So we think of it as in 4 buckets. So 4 buckets of eligibility. For out-of-school youth, we enroll based on barriers, whether that's a barrier to work, a barrier that would be a disability, aged out of foster care or in foster care, someone who is pregnant, a single and pregnant, or a single with children, someone who's homeless, someone who has a barrier to work, meaning that they've been displaced from work for more than 2 months.
Okay, so if you're out of work 2 months, you might be able to join this skill set.
Yes.
Okay. The is there anything for just any recent grad? As far as or do we have to have the? That's how the law is set up, right? That you have to kind of meet these criteria. Yeah. Is there a way to get services, or would you have to pay for them, or what if you're not immediately, under any of those categories? I guess what do you do?
So you would still be eligible to look on our job board and to sign up for any of our workshops that would help you with resume building, interview skills, stress management, things like that. But to be eligible for the programs and receive the WIOA funding, okay, you would have to be eligible for those programs.
So there are offerings from CareerLink that will help. Maybe just not the funding. Well, that's interesting to know. Maybe I'll save this because I want to talk about your CareerLink Day, but we'll wait till the bottom of the hour for that. You talk about career planning. What's entailed with that? Is there? Let me just editorial comment here. I find there's a lot of young people and old people, I shouldn't say old, middle age, I should say, that really don't know what they want to do with their lives. Like they haven't really done a an inventory of their strengths. I'm a huge advocate for the Strength Finders tool. When you talk about career planning, is there a testing element of this, or hey, you're handy with your hands, maybe you should get into something mechanical. Remember how they used to say that to folks? Talk about career planning and what that entails.
Sure. So labor and industry has a number of resources that includes something like a test that people can take. So, just identifying where their skills and interests are. And sometimes those are two different things. So
sure,
being realistic with people, on their current work history, if they have any, that 16 to 24 age range, they might still need to develop work history. And so, that being said, it's trying to identify, what they aspire to be, and then look at different avenues on how we can help them achieve those goals.
So is that kind of like a case management model? Do you guys walk through folks like that, or?
So yeah, we do have career advisors on site, and so they would coach and mentor the individual who is interested in receiving help through PA CareerLink, and then from there we would identify, if they're job ready or if they need additional skills in order to be job ready. So, those workshops that I mentioned earlier are a critical part in helping people become job ready. But
is that where you might find soft skills being trained in a workshop like that?
Yeah, soft skill development is a huge thing in the workforce, and a pain point with a lot of employers. So that's something that we do definitely try to help coach people with those soft skills, and
kind of like not showing up to your interview in PJs.
Yeah.
Might be a helpful thing. Stay with us. Nicole is with us from CareerLink. More ahead after the news. It's Talk Erie. It's Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio. Nicole Ferringer is with us. She's a business services manager with the Pennsylvania CareerLink Erie County and Oil Region. And I wanted to ask you, Nicole, about PA CareerLink Day. You just had that, last week or very recently? Talk about how that went and what you had to offer there.
Sure. So PA CareerLink Days is a day where we bring different resources to the community together, all in one spot. So that way people can come and see what is available to them. And it was, a successful day for us. We had several attendees and, partners present that are able to offer support in different ways. And that's what's important is just making sure that we can help people in whatever way they need help.
Yeah, is the idea that it's directed toward people that are out of work, or are a lot of folks just kind of looking for, again, upskilling or that next job, or, to go from maybe a job that's not making ends meet to a family sustaining job? Or is it all of the above, would you say?
It's more of all of the above.
Yeah.
We have different services for different people, and we have veteran services. We have services for people who are 55 years of age and older. We have services through the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. We had Penny on site, which could help with insurance needs for individuals.
Healthcare, sure.
People without their GED or diploma could come on site and speak with IU5. So just an array of options for an array of needs. We did have resumes being written on site, and just the ability to network with people who can get you where you need to be, even if all the right people aren't in the room. So that's the idea of PA CareerLink Days.
Okay, so you plan on having one of these once a year, so we'll want to watch out for that next year. But also the concept of that a lot of these services are available by visiting your offices or looking on the website, right?
Absolutely. So all of our services are available, whether you come into the office or you can call in or go on our website and see what's available there. Just depending on what you're looking for. If you're not finding what you're looking for, it's always best to reach out because
Can you call?
Yeah, you can call our offices. You can speak, with one of our career advisors or someone on staff who can point you in the right direction if you're not sure where to go. So that's something that we're able to help with, and would love to support the community with.
Yeah, the getting this connection from, kind of narrowing this disconnect of what employers need and what the skills that we have in the workforce seems to be the major issue that a community like ours is facing, isn't it?
Sure.
That disconnect of skills,
Yeah, I think there are a lot of training programs available in Erie County specifically. You have the ALEC, which stands for Allegheny Lab of Innovation and Creativity down in Meadville. And beyond that, we do also have 2 registered apprenticeship navigators on our staff. So if you're looking for an apprenticeship that can help you earn while you learn, then we can help facilitate that as well. So it's always good to realize there are so many opportunities, more than we could talk about here on your show. But, giving us a call or sending us an email is the best way to start that first step.
So really, you guys are a gateway at CareerLink for the construction trades. When we're talking about we need welders, we need plumbers, we need electricians, and so on.
We're actively working with several apprenticeship programs through Northwest Pennsylvania, one of those being the IEC, so Independent Electrical Contractors. it's a unique opportunity where you're in a 4-year program training you with the skills that you need to do the job and become a journeyman, but you're also getting paid a relatively good wage while you're doing that as well. And for employers, we do have, programs that help offset the training of those types of individuals who may have a skill gap, but still want the opportunity.
So you can help the employer, for some of those needs there. We mentioned medical, and we talk a lot about EMS, and I'm wondering, is CareerLink a place for training for basic life support or anything like that, or is that a whole different pathway? Has that come up at all? EMS and firefighting and all that stuff?
Yeah, so we are able to support, I'm trying to remember honestly what that looks like, but through on-the-job training funding, we can support employers to upskill individuals for up to the first 6 months of training. It's a reimbursement program, so just depending on the eligibility of the participant and then the type of skills gaps that is identified, then we can support to upskill individuals into those roles.
I'm thinking about too, like phlebotomy, some of those other, entry level certified nurse assistants and so on. Do you work much with the community college yet, or are there connections that way?
So we do. They are on the eligible training provider list, which is needed for an eligible participant to participate in receiving that $5,500 of tuition assistance. So we are connected in that way. And then, as different things arise, then we also attend different events and things like that to support the Erie County Community College as well.
I wanted to, and again, we haven't had a big layoff announcement, at least in Erie County, in a while. But you do, again, you're part of that network that provides that rapid response. Can you talk a little bit about how that works?
Sure. If an employer identifies that, they might have a mass layoff or may even be going out of business, unfortunately, then we have services available through rapid response that can support, that transition for employees. So it's something where we have representatives that would come on site and help the individuals.
Oh, they go to the actual workplace.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we do. So they would go on site and then, speak with the HR representatives, owners, depending on, who's in charge, sometimes operations managers, and, just discuss what the transition is going to look like, try to get a timeline for the employees, communicate unemployment benefits to the employees, and beyond that, help them, with their job search as well.
Yeah. As far as, again, you have a company that lays a bunch of people off. We're trying to, fill these holes that employers have in what would you call the high impact or the high priority occupational list. I mean, it is kind of like playing 3D chess a little bit. Especially, you have to find those right people to get plugged into those holes. Maybe I'll never forget when Hammer Mill had their big layoff. Again, that's a long time ago. But how many nurses how many people became nurses and teachers out of that workforce or something like that?
That would be an interesting metric to track.
Yeah, wouldn't it? We do need teachers too. Are you hearing, I keep on hearing that. Again, that is a 4-year kind of a thing though. You have to pass your boards and all that stuff. That would be harder to respond to,
Yeah. That's a different type of commitment, but also it's something that, if people are interested in that, we can help them get, headed in the right direction for.
Yeah, that brings up a question about ease of use. And again, you've been so helpful in explaining, hey, we have this website, you just have to register and go. But is it transparent enough so that we can understand how to get these services? I mean, if people are struggling, what's the best way to handle that, would you say?
So yeah, if you're struggling with how to register or struggling with finding the right service for you, you can walk into one of our facilities and ask for help, and we're here to help. We have dedicated people in the facility to help walk-ins, or you can call and schedule an appointment to meet with someone. But we do have dedicated staff members on site for that.
Okay, so they're there ready to go to help navigate here. You mentioned that you had veteran services. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because again, that's a specialty, right? I mean.
Yeah, so within PA CareerLink, we have a priority of service, and veterans do receive priority of service. So we have designated staff members for veterans, and they do work with employers and work with veterans in the same way that we work with all participants. And we work to find job placements and help them with their resume and help them receive training, whether that be, through a registered apprenticeship or one of the training providers on the eligible training provider list. So just depending on, each individual scenario, what that looks like, we're able to support veterans. And like I said, we have specific people who do that.
Up to the VA at all, or do you they have to come down to the 16th? Yeah.
So typically, if you're able to make an appointment, we can meet you where you need to be met.
Oh, that's nice. That's terrific. Again, a lot of folks are connected to the VA. This is this just to give you a little insight of. Every once in a while, we'll like do careers on the radio. We'll go to CareerLink, and we're astounded. And again, you've been around the block a while. 1,632 jobs in Erie County available. Doesn't that shock you as an Erieite? Of like, man, that's a lot of openings.
There are a lot of openings right now. And, unemployment is at an all-time low right now in Northwest. So I guess that's a good thing. But at the same time, we still need skilled labor to, work in some of these positions and boost our business in Erie.
There's no doubt about it. It's not letting me look, but usually the top employers are the hospitals. And it's not just, they're not just looking for RNs with 6 years of sometimes it's housekeeping, sometimes it's data entry or something like that. Tons of jobs in healthcare. Country Fair is a major employer, and so on.
So UPMC offers UPMC Pathways, which is another resource within the community. We partner with them a lot, so we host some events at their neighborhood center. The PA CareerLink Days was hosted at the UPMC neighborhood center, which is right off of 8th and East Ave, if you're familiar.
Yeah, at ECAT. Isn't it over there?
It's close to ECAT.
Okay.
But it's right on East Ave.
Gotcha.
Kind of like right across from Country Fair, actually.
Okay, sure. And they were part of that, huh?
Yes, they were there, and they graciously donate their space to us.
Nice.
And they also help support the community, though. They have lots of resources there, especially if you're interested in getting employment with UPMC and one of an entry level or any level, really. But Stefan Durant over there is really great with working with people and identifying, like how to tweak their resumes to be, more creative and tailored to their job specifically, and making sure that when they're going through the application process, which is really important, to make sure the right shift is selected and things like that, because like we talked about before, the applicant tracking system will kind of automatically, make those people ineligible. But with UPMC,
you've got to be able to navigate this applicant tracking system.
Yeah.
And don't give it any excuse to knock you out.
Yeah, like if you're applying for second shift, make sure you have second shift availability selected in your application.
Okay.
So
that's really so let me give you the top 5 here. Highmark Health actually is number 1 right now.
Okay.
Dollar General, UPMC, like we said. Employer not disclosed, we'll not count that. McDonald's has 63 openings, and CDM Smith 50. I don't even know who that is, but I mean that kind of tells you something with CVS and Walmart right there, and there's just a little. That looks like there's something about data centers even there. AI is like showing up everywhere, isn't it, Nicole?
Yeah. So AI is definitely going to keep showing up.
All righty, let's bring this plane in for a landing. Give our job seeker just some solid pointers where to start, and tell them how resilient they need to be, because this is not necessarily an easy thing to do, to get retrained for a high impact job,
Yeah, so at PA CareerLink, we're designed as a free resource to the community. So we're not just for people who are unemployed, but people who are interested in changing their career path and making sure you're on the right track with that. So it's a good free resources to the community and employers and within the community as well. So, taking advantage of the programs that we have to upskill if you're eligible for those programs. And that's what we're here for. We're here to walk you through that eligibility. So if that, is a little bit intimidating, don't let it be. Just give us a call and get, a meeting set up with one of our staff members, so that way we can walk you through that. And as far as employers go, we're here to service employers the way that they need to be serviced. So we're a free job board. We can advertise your positions through our job board, through social media, as well as you can attend our career fairs, which we have a few times a year. So just depending on what region you're in. We had a successful job fair at the University of Pittsburgh at Titusville not very long ago. The UPMC Neighborhood Center, we had one in May. So just different opportunities to meet face-to-face with employers as well if you're a participant. So taking advantage of those in-person meetings where you can get in front of HR members, that's huge. But for employers also, we have 4 different programs they can take advantage of. So we have work experience programs, on the job training funding, incumbent worker training funding as well. And we can also support through registered apprenticeship. So if you don't have an apprenticeship but you're interested in that, we have people on staff who can help you, identify what an apprenticeship looks like for you, and if there's a system already in place that you can take advantage of, or if you have to start from scratch and build an apprenticeship from scratch. So just depending on what you're looking for, there's all kinds of different things to take advantage of.
Sounds like a full portfolio to build the workforce, and greatly appreciate it. Nicole Ferringer, Business Services Manager with PA CareerLink for Erie County and the Oil Region. Thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it. You got it. It is 6 minutes in front of 5 o'clock.